I'm Thomas, and this is the MFR1 feeding ring from Aquamax. It's convertible for both rimless as well as Eurobrace tanks, which is great, and essentially is gonna help you waste less food, having it go down your overflow and into your filtration before your fish get a chance to eat it, especially if you're using an automatic feeder. It's got some other tricks up its sleeve too, and is one of the most affordable feeding rings out there. Let's get into it. Feeding rings have been around for a while, and I've used quite a few of them over the years. They're essentially a way to keep food, especially floating foods, from finding their way into the overflow system before your fish get a chance to dine to their heart's content. They're a huge help with automatic feeders and can also cut down on the need to pre-soak or defrost food before adding it to your tank. Naturally, Aquamax's magnetic feeding ring does a great job of all of that, while also being one of the most affordable options out there. It's well built, convertible for both horizontal and vertical mounting. It's height adjustable and large enough to fit under an automatic feeder without being enormous. So let's get this one out of the box, get a closer look, and test it out. In the box, you'll find the pre-assembled MFR1 as well as the instructions. The MFR1 feeding ring is roughly 3 inches wide, 3¼ inches deep, and 5 inches tall with a large feeding diameter of just over 2 inches. The feeding ring itself is made from a clear acrylic tube with nicely rounded and polished edges with the Aquamax logo discreetly etched in, and the bracket is made from white acrylic with an equally nice finish. It uses strong neodymium magnets to hold the feeder firm on panels up to ½ an inch thick, although I did test it on a 5/8 inch thick panel and it was able to hang on pretty nicely. It comes assembled right out of the box, but it's also adjustable so you can make sure it fits your particular tank setup perfectly. There are 2 adjustments you can make. First, the magnet mount can be left in its vertical position for most rimless and trim tanks, or you can remove the 2 screws that hold it to the frame, then attach it to the top of the frame for mounting horizontally, which can be helpful for tanks with Eurobraces. You can also change the position of the feeding ring tube within the frame so that you can adjust how much of the ring is above the water versus below the water, either keeping it mostly out of view or having it submerged more so that blocks of frozen food don't accidentally escape prematurely. When it comes to placement of the feeding ring on your tank, it really just comes down to wherever you do the majority of your feeding. So for many of us, that'll be right up near the front of the tank on one of the side panels. You can then toss in flakes, pellets, and even a frozen cube of mysis, and it'll sit inside of the tube until it's waterlogged or defrosted and sinks down, and then drifts out of the bottom of the feeder, meaning you won't need to pre-soak those foods and then forget you were doing it, only to randomly find a super smelly shot glass of fishy muck several hours later, like I tend to do because I'm forgetful. Probably my favorite use for this feeding ring is to make sure the food you're dispensing from an automatic feeder is kept away from your overflow, meaning both the feeder and the feeding ring could be placed at the back of the tank where it's better hidden from view, while still getting that food down into the water column where the fish can actually get to it. Meaning less wasted food, less food buildup in your filter socks or fleece roller, and happier fish with fuller bellies. Like any piece of gear, you will need to take it out of the tank for cleaning once in a while. Being acrylic, a simple bath in citric acid will work well to remove any calcareous algae buildup, a quick wipe with a soft sponge or cloth, and a rinse, and it'll be ready to go back to work, keeping all of that food right where your fish need it. And if that sounds like it matches your waste less reefing mantra, then you can pick one up for yourself by clicking right here.